Matthew Stafford. What the actual heck is going on? Jeremy Fowler, insider extraordinaire, is here. Teams are congregating as we speak in Indianapolis. Talk to me about what's going on with Matthew Stafford.
Greeny, these teams are trying to find out Matthew Stafford's availability in real time. Is he available? What kind of money would it take? The Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm told, have a level of interest. New York Giants, level of interest. There will be and are others. But I'm told Matthew Stafford wants to remain, and he just needs to feel the love. He needs to feel appreciated. Due $27 million in base pay this year. That needs to go up a lot. I'm told the Rams recognize this and know this, but they have a teetering point. I don't sense that the team's willing to pay him some mega $50 million plus a year deal, so they're going to have to find a sweet spot. If they can't, Stafford will be forced to look at all options.
All right, so you said Steelers. That makes sense to me. They need a quarterback, and they're good. You said Giants. That makes sense to me in that they're desperately trying to save their jobs there, right? Coach, general manager, all that sort of thing. They're not nearly as good. No. If you're Matthew Stafford, what do you want to happen here?
You want to stay in L.A. You just want to get paid like your peers, or guys that have similar production. And I think you probably feel like you can be good with the Rams. So if you weren't going to be there, so that's option A. Option B would be, all right, if I have to go somewhere else to make the money I want to make, hopefully that team is good. He's 37 years old. He's lived through playing on bad teams before. That's no fun, no matter how much money you're making.
What do you think, Nick? How do you? This thing is starting to feel realer and realer to me. Like there's too much smoke here, right? There's too many people talking about this. Too much the Jeremy Fowlers of the world. This is certainly not nothing. What do you make of the whole thing?
Yeah, I think they're not in a situation yet where the pressure has gotten too high, but I think we all probably agree that neither of these team or player have better options. Like, if Matt Stafford's big threat is I'll go play for the Giants, I think the Rams know that he's not really all that serious, and the Rams' big threat is we'll go sign Aaron Rodgers. Like, these guys are meant to be together. I think and I hope they'll end up figuring out the money situation so Matt Stafford can end his career there, and they can make a run. Like, we saw the way they played in the playoffs last year. It was a lot better than I think any of us anticipated, given the injuries that he struggled with through the season. But I do think that he ends up back in L.A. But if a quarterback like that is on the market and I'm a team that thinks I'm close, it's worth at least making a call and trying to figure if we can make something happen.
I've been saying this for 2 weeks, and again, Jeremy, I'm not an insider. You are, but you couldn't be in New Orleans Super Bowl week and not hear the rumors: Matthew Stafford to the Giants, Aaron Rodgers to the Rams. That sort of was the scuttlebutt. Do those things fit? Do the Rams view Aaron Rodgers as their ace in the hole if they need one?
So, Greeny, I started getting calls a couple weeks ago with just some dots connecting, some seeds planted that Aaron Rodgers lives in the Malibu area. He has relationships with people with the Rams. Sean McVay's considered the best play caller in the NFL by a lot of people. Rodgers could be had on a reasonable contract at this age with his injury history. Then Davante Adams, I'm told, wants to be on the West Coast. They could potentially pair up with Cooper Kupp on his way out. They could replace him with Davante Adams, start all over on a more reasonable contract than what Matthew Stafford wants. But Sean McVay has only played with #1 overall picks, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford. That's a whole different world if you go to Aaron Rodgers. Well, his metal's going to be tested there to see how far his scheme and
I understand that. I mean, for what it's worth, Rodgers was also a first-round pick and has had the greatest career of the three of them. But I understand the point that you're making. Does that... If you take out Matthew Stafford and you put, I think we.
Well, you need an answer. You need a solution, right? So, is
that one?
I mean, potentially, depending on what else you strike out with. Like I've said this. I said it yesterday. Well, Rodgers is a low priority free agent, meaning everybody else gets to choose, and then whatever is left, that's going to be his option. So, I can't imagine that the Rams are sitting there saying, yeah, either one. We're good with either one. That's not. There's no way that's the Rams' posture. The Rams' posture is going to be, look, we want to get it done with Stafford. If it's not Stafford, I guarantee you that they're not trying to get older and slower at the position.
But maybe less expensive and Dominique, let me give you a final word. Less expensive, still a veteran, knows how to win. Matthew Stafford for 50 or Aaron Rodgers for 25. Dominique, does it make some sense?
Yeah, I mean, it makes some sense, but he's less expensive for a reason. And I think we all are tiptoeing around the fact that there are other complications that come with putting Aaron Rodgers in your locker room. At least that's what we saw take place with the Jets. It wasn't, there aren't a lot of players or coaches or fans, frankly, that are sad to see him leave. The same thing was true when he left Green Bay. So, I've never been on a team with him, so I hesitate to make any sweeping, judgments about him on adding to a team. But I do think that the track record speaks for itself, and I think they would much rather stick with their aging quarterback that they have now than, even if it's much cheaper, then switch over to Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, of course. No, there's no tiptoeing around anything. If the conversation with Rodgers was only about football, this would be a lot easier. He'd probably still be on the Jets.
You said it yesterday. He'll be one of the best 32 people on the planet to play the position.
Correct.
But look, it's not all in a vacuum of how you do it. Where's your franchise? What's the rest of your roster?
Video game.
Does he really want to be here? Does it fit with what you want to do offensively? All of those things.
Let's figure it out. Hold that thought 1 second. We have much more to say, as you can see. Bursting at the seams. Coming up, Fowler, are you kidding me? Is the best player in the league about to add to the best team in the league? Is this actually going to happen? Could the answer to this be yes? You need to hear this coming up. Plus, it's a national holiday. Mel Kiper has a mock draft out. Wait until you hear his surprise landing spots for Shador's.
First thing that comes to mind, get the hell out the way.
Is the first word. That play is not fun. But pretty high success rate.
You know what's coming.
He's pushed, and he's in. Touchdown.
Tush push, touchdown, guaranteed. If you have a free hitter, you might as well run it every time.
If you could do it, you'll do it too.
Jeremy Fowler and Dominique Foxworth have auditioned for True Detective Season 4. Still waiting on callbacks. Just spending part of that time with us. Guys, the tush push has been one of the most successful quarterbacks.
Jokes on Dennis the Menace.
One of the most successful.
That's why you look like you look.
Here we go.
No. Now we're doing jokes. You look like if John Gruden grew up in Europe.
Grew up in Europe? What?
That's a touch of class.
I think that means just a different haircut. Not better, better.
It's a compliment.
Just a metric system.
It's a compliment.
Metric system haircut. Okay. The tush push has been one of the most successful quarterback sneaks in recent years. An unnamed team has proposed a ban on the play. Jeremy, what more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I was still trying to think of a good dig, but Dominique's got me covered. That was a really good one. But the tush push here, the Green Bay Packers have proposed to potentially change the tush push. They proposed this to the NFL's competition committee. So the competition committee will huddle up over the next 4 or 5 weeks on a litany of league-wide issues, including this one, and they have to decide what they want to bring to their ownership to be voted upon. So this is not even a guarantee that the tush push will be voted upon to change or to keep. It's just been raised as an issue at this point. So there's enough sentiment around the league right now that this play doesn't require a lot of skill. It's not a fun play, and it's an automatic first down for the Eagles right now. So the league has shown two things with precedent. They've shown that if there's an injury issue with a play, or that if a play is not all that exciting, that they're willing to change it for the betterment of the game. So this could receive some traction, but it's not a guarantee at this point.
Nick, you were playing on the side of the ball that was forced and tasked with having to stop a tush push. So what's your opinion on it?
Fortunately, whatever goes on